In 2004, Dr. Roger Gonzalez founded LIMS International. Their goal was to design and develop a low-cost prosthetic knee joint that could be manufactured in the developing world.
We have implemented this knee in Africa, Asia, and Latin America.
The knee is a very important technology because we don't have many affordable options.
We keep the joint affordable by having the clinicians be able to make it locally and maintain it locally so that it's a long-term solution.
You are coming to teach us on how to manufacture a polycentric knee. I don't think it has happened elsewhere in the world.
Before forming as an independent nonprofit organization, LIMS International started as a senior design project at LeTourneau University, in which Dr. Roger Gonzalez challenged his engineering students to design a low-cost knee joint. However, Roger's interest in low-cost prosthetics began years earlier as a postdoctoral fellow at the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago.
And I was privileged enough to be on the research floor where they do a lot of high-end prosthetic research development. Being the fact that I had seen what had gone on in some parts of the developing world, I realized that it's a shame that those of us who really have the least level of amputations around the world have some of the best technology. So what I sought out to do with the help of students is to try to reproduce that design with the intent of making it as inexpensive as possible so that it can be manufactured in the developing world. And that's kind of been our mission for the last 7 years. This is my dad and I. Back in 1970, I was about 7 years old. We're sitting together here on our car in some city in Mexico. When I was young with my father, we were walking down the street in Juarez and saw a little boy that was crippled. I don't remember the exact details, but I guess I made some snide remark and giggled, and my dad sternly picked me up and told me, you know, well, but for the grace of God, there go you and I. And that really made an impact upon me, and to this day I've carried that event with me. I come from a family where my mom and dad are uneducated. My mom only got to second grade. My dad had to drop out of high school. Through that process, they had to live life pretty difficult. My dad, for the most part in his entire life, made minimum wage and had to raise us, and it was hard. Although they never really demanded us to go to school, they taught us how to work hard. I wasn't the most brilliant kid in school, so I knew that if I was going to have to do well, that I'd have to be able to work as hard as my dad did, as he worked for us.
Of Roger's siblings, 4 out of 6 have graduate degrees, and another 3 have doctorates.
It's a sense for us of a lot of thankfulness, both to our parents and thankfulness that we grew up in a country where we're able to do this. If you're in a developing world where there is no ramps, where there is no straight sidewalks, walking is an important part of what you do. And if you're not mobile, it really affects who you are as an individual. I feel like I have an obligation as an individual who grew up less fortunate in our own country to help those who are less fortunate in the developing world. It's a sense of being part of our, what we would call global society, and being able to say, I care.